how do you write blog posts that rank well for SEO? So, just real quick, I want to introduce myself in case we've never met before. I'm Crystal Waddell, and this is my new session on how to write blog posts optimized for SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. And you may think that this is really difficult, or you may think that you've already got it. I got you if you're a little bit confused and falling somewhere in the middle. Let's get ranking number one in no time. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you Jasper and Surfer SEO, which is an SEO writing tool that helps you to incorporate all the keywords and the different things you need to be able to rank. So let's break it down just to the very simple pieces if you are using zero tools. Okay. The number one tip that I want to give you is to use keywords in the title of your post. So, for instance, if I'm writing a blog about how to start a Shopify store, my main keyword I want to show up in search results for is how to start a Shopify store. That term should be in my title. Now, a lot of people want to start a Shopify store quickly. So those could be additional things that I have in my title, but I want to have my keyword first in the title or as close to the front of the title as possible and make sure that title and my page title match up. Okay, that's something called SERP, an acronym, SERP, for Search Engine Results Page. So you'll want to make sure that your page title, like the title of the article, is also the same title that shows up on the search engine results pages. That was something that really threw me for a loop in the beginning. I didn't realize there were two different things. Just be advised, there are two different titles there. So, number one is use keywords in the title of your post. Number two is to include a keyword rich sentence or two in the first paragraph. So, just like you want how to start a Shopify store at the beginning of your title, you also want to include it as naturally as you can in the first sentence of your first paragraph. This reinforces to the search engines that your article is about what it's about. So, number one, use keywords in the title of your post. Number two, include a keyword rich sentence or two in the first paragraph. So, making sure that we sprinkle in that very specific keyword in the title and in the first paragraph. Number three, this is something that's often overlooked, but did you know that you can name your images in your blog post? What I mean by that is instead of uploading an image that has a file name of something generic like IMG three, instead of uploading an image with no file name, you could instead use the file name how to start a Shopify store. The correct way to set that up is how dash to dash start dash a dash Shopify dash store and then .jpeg. So that's a great way to include those main keywords, easy way to put it into your article without sounding redundant over and over in every paragraph. Whatever your images are, just make sure that they're named and they're specific to your article versus generic img.jpg file names. Please let me know if you have any questions on that. So, number one, use keywords in the title of your post. Number two, include a keyword rich sentence in the first paragraph. Number three, add some keywords to any images you use on your blog post. And number four, make sure that you have an H1 header. The H1 header is actually the title, and then additional H2 headers, but don't overdo it with multiple headers. A good rule of thumb is to have a header for each section. So you can only have one H1 in your blog article, but you can have multiple H2s and multiple H3s. And again, that same rule applies of sprinkling your keywords into the first word or two of that header. So that's another great way to make sure that your copy is found and indexed correctly by a search engine. And so if my main keyword is how to start a Shopify store, I may have another keyword like Shopify website builder. And Shopify website builder could be a keyword that's in one of the H2s. And so then you just want to sprinkle those related keywords throughout your other headings. So, number one, use keywords in the title of your post. Number two, include a keyword rich sentence or two in the first paragraph. Number three, add some keywords to any images you use on your blog post. And number four, make sure that you have an H1 header and multiple H2 and H3 headers, but don't overdo it. So, number five, then you'll want to write content that is engaging and interesting to read. One of the best blog posts I have read recently was by Elisa Meredith, and you can find her blog post all about Pinterest at elisameredith.com, ALISAMEREDITH.com. Now, Elisa is a self-professed Pinterest nerd like myself, which is one reason why I love her. But she writes very openly and honestly about the exact things that small businesses want to know. And one example I can give you is about Pinterest ads. And a lot of people want to run Pinterest ads, but when you're on a shoestring budget or you're a very small business, doing ads, trying to run ads for the first time, you've got some very specific questions about how not to waste your money. And I love that about Elisa's article because it talked very specifically and very directly about how to run Pinterest ads basically as cheaply as you can. And she gave some really great insights on how to create a formula to decide how much you're paying cost per click, and I found it very helpful because I know a lot of Shopify owners may be reaching out into advertising for the first time. I want to encourage you to take that same strategy and make it your own because whatever you're speaking about, you want it to be engaging in a way that is helpful, that's transformative, that's going to make their life better in some way. The last thing you want someone to do is read your blog post and think, wow, that's 5, 10, 15 minutes of my life that I can't get back. Instead, you want them talking about the article, like I'm talking about Elisa's article, saying, wow, that was really helpful. And I want to share it and I want to share the information that I learned because I think it can help others. Those are the 5 simple steps to help you start to rank number one for your desired keywords. Even though you have those tips and tricks, it's still tough sometimes to know how many words should you write? How many headers should you have? What keywords should you be using? And that's where tools like Jasper and Surfer SEO come in. Jasper is an AI copywriting assistant that will help you write a variety of different things. You can let Jasper help you write long form articles and more from start to finish. Now, this is great, but one thing that was missing was some help on specific keywords that should be included in the article. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through an actual article that I want to write for my website, how to see Pinterest analytics. Okay, that's a good one because a lot of people want to know about Pinterest analytics and how they work. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm clicking on that long form document editor, and it then asks me to describe the content that I want to create. I'm going to post how to see Pinterest analytics into my blog post editor. So it says, describe the content that you want to see. And it says, this is the most important step in helping Jasper understand what you want to write about. The better you can describe what you want to write, the higher quality content Jasper will help produce. I put in there my keywords, how to see Pinterest analytics. There is an option for keywords. So I'm going to type in Pinterest analytics. And then for the content that I want to create, I want to put in an article for Shopify sellers to understand Pinterest analytics with the goal of helping them make better decisions about Pinterest marketing and eventually Pinterest advertising. Okay, so that's exactly what I wrote in here for Jasper. And then there's the option to continue. So I'm continuing. So I want to write my own title, or I can let Jasper help me generate ideas. I always like to let Jasper generate ideas for me. Sometimes this copywriting assistant can come up with ideas that you never thought of. So I'm going to click on generate ideas, and I'll let 3 or 4 of the ideas that Jasper comes up for me. So the first one is how to see Pinterest Analytics, an article for Shopify sellers, how to see Pinterest Analytics, a guide for Shopify sellers, and how to see Pinterest Analytics, an article for Shopify sellers. So I like the idea of a guide. I'm going to choose that one, how to see Pinterest Analytics, a guide for Shopify sellers. So you can see that my keyword of Pinterest Analytics and that idea of how to see Pinterest analytics comes at the beginning of the title. And that's really important for SEO purposes. So now that I've got my title, it's time for step 3 in Jasper, which is the intro paragraph. And so it says here that you can write your own intro, or you can let Jasper help you generate ideas. So I, again, not to be lazy, but I'm just trying to be smart here and see if Jasper knows a little bit more than I do about this. I'm going to click generate ideas. When I do that, Jasper thinks for a little bit and then creates 3 different intro paragraph options for me. I'm probably just going to use the first one. I want to read this to you and let you know what it says. Jasper gave me, are you a Shopify seller looking to improve your Pinterest marketing? If so, you need to understand Pinterest analytics. This guide will show you how to see your analytics and use the data to make better decisions about your Pinterest strategy. With Pinterest analytics, you can track followers, impressions, clicks, and more. You can also see information about your audience, such as their interests and demographics. By understanding this data, you can create pins that are more likely to be seen and clicked on by your target audience. Thanks for reading. So that's so funny that it said thanks for reading because we're not at the end. But I think that is a really great intro paragraph with the exception of thanks for reading. So let's read one more and see which one's the best. Okay, so I do like this one. This is the third option. And the second one was great too. But the third option says, are you a Shopify seller who is looking to improve your Pinterest marketing? If so, you need to understand Pinterest analytics. In this article, we will show you how to see your Pinterest analytics and explain what the data means. With this information, you can actually make better decisions about your Pinterest marketing strategy and eventually invest in Pinterest advertising. Let's get started. Okay, I love this intro paragraph because it tells me exactly what I had hoped, and it shares exactly what I hope, that we're going to explain Pinterest analytics. And then we're also going to do that with the thought of let's move you into Pinterest advertising, because I personally believe it's one of the most cost effective ways to promote your Shopify store. I am going to select that one, say that I want to use that one. Jasper then tells me that setup is complete, gives me a thumbs up, and it gives me the option to open the editor. Now, when I open the editor, I see my title, my content description or brief to the left. I have an option for tone of voice. And when I'm writing these blog posts, I like to use the tone of voice of Google. And then I've got my keywords, which are Pinterest analytics. And remember how I told you that you want to have your keyword in the first 2 sentences? My keyword is in that second sentence. If so, you need to understand Pinterest analytics. So this is where the next bit of magic starts. Jasper had already given me a couple paragraphs here. When you're writing blogs, you want to keep your paragraphs short, like 1 or 2 sentences. It's exactly the opposite of everything we ever learned in school. So the great thing is now I can hit Command J and see what Jasper suggests. I can do an output length of small, medium, or long. The next thing Jasper suggested is that I talk about the Pinterest Analytics dashboard overview. It says the Pinterest Analytics dashboard only for Pinterest business accounts. To convert your account to a Pinterest business account, go to pinterest.com/business and click convert now. You can use the same email address you already have linked to your personal Pinterest account. And there's some really great instructions there on Pinterest to do that. Okay, so that was what Jasper suggested I write. Now I'm going to change the input link to L long and let Jasper write a little bit more. And it says Pinterest will ask for your e-commerce store's URL. Pinterest will review and approve within 48 hours. Now, some of these things, is Jasper making up facts here, or is that true? It's been a long time since I created a business account. I might want to check those facts. So I'm going to bold that just so I remember to come back to it. Now, the great thing for Shopify store owners is that if you connect Pinterest within Shopify by installing the Pinterest Shopify app within Shopify, they communicate seamlessly and update your catalog every 24 hours. And that is just super because you never have to worry about that. Jasper was created from information on the internet previously to 2019. So because I know that, and also because I know Pinterest has recently updated some things, I know that Jasper is not completely correct on his definition of Pinterest clicks because now Pinterest also has something called outbound clicks. So again, I'm bolding that to know that, okay, I need to go back and double check what that paragraph says. This is where I like to go ahead and incorporate Surfer.